Hi everyone, Morgan here. So let's dive right into this about how you can get fully prepared in 30 days. But I do want to be very specific here. Prepping is a lifestyle. It is not a get rich quick scheme. It is not panic buying. It's not, hey, I'm going to get this stuff just for the apocalypse or some SHTF situation. The fact is, an SHTF situation could be something as simple as like job loss. I mean, if somebody loses your job and that was like maybe your sole income, I mean, that's a huge hit to you and your lifestyle. If you have just some canned food available to you, 30 days worth of food or something, that's food that you can now rely on while you continue to search for a job. You don't have to worry about feeding yourself or your family because you can just go out and continue to look for a job and focus on that instead of trying to focus on where your next meal is going to come from, right? So we're going to go through this week by week. But remember, every single week you might do the same thing over and over again because prepping is a lifestyle. It's about consistency. But the very first thing that I want you to do is go to the store and get a couple cans of food and a few bottles of gallons of water or a case or two of water. That's what you're going to do. Week one, you're going to stockpile the food that you and your family eats. Figure that out. What does your family eat? And then go get the non-perishable versions of that. I realize that a lot of people eat fresh, and so do we. We eat a ton of fresh fruit, a ton of fresh vegetables. We eat a very minimally processed life, and you can still do that. Canned food is extremely nutritious, and it's just processed through the canning process. If you want to can your own food, I commend you. Do that. Freeze dry your own food, dehydrate your own food, whatever. But we're going to start with the basics, however you want to get there: food and water. Week two is all going to be about family communication and safety. So I would say there's a few things here. One, I want you to first go down to the description down below so that you can download my emergency disaster plan so that you guys can figure out how are you going to communicate in an emergency. Your family plan could take you about a week to do, but with my disaster plan that you're going to go download right now, it will take you way less time than trying to think about what do I need to put in an emergency disaster plan, right? You're going to save time. Everybody's going to be happy. You're going to make that disaster plan in one night and everybody's going to be super duper prepared, right? Like way more prepared than you ever thought you'd be. With just having that emergency disaster plan, that's going to tell you your communication plan. It's going to tell you your evacuation routes, where your pet's going to go, whatever. Also, so you got that done in one night. What are you going to do with the rest of the week? Well, you're going to go ahead and inventory some first aid supplies, right? Your over-the-counter medications, your prescription meds, your first aid kits, one for your house, one for your car, and one for your workplace. You could have, like, I have first aid kits literally everywhere in my bug out bags. I have them all over the place. My kids have them in their bug out bags. I have them in my purse and EDC, and first aid kits are literally everywhere. So why don't you invest in a few first aid kits, have them everywhere, or go ahead and inventory or get some more first aid items, just basic Band-Aids, basic first aid stuff. And of course, along with your emergency disaster plan, you can look into radios and other alternative forms of communication. Hello, yes, I would like to direct your attention over here to my prepper library. Why did I say library? To my prepper closet, where I am going to show you, come on over, a few things here. Because on week 3, you're going to be focusing on lighting. So maybe get a little bit of candles, right? Tea light candles with like a lantern, right? Why don't you get some extra batteries if you want? Let's see, down here we got some glow sticks, we got some lanterns. I'm going to be linking some 4-packs of these lanterns that I absolutely love. They will blind you, okay? You can get rechargeable ones or ones that take batteries, but glow sticks, lighting, any type of lighting sources. And remember, just start small. Start with like, the 4-pack of lanterns with like a little bit of glow sticks and like 1 pack of tea lights with 1 lantern, and then build from there. And then also hygiene, so lighting and hygiene. We are going to be talking about this no rinse body wash. They have also no rinse shampoo, that kind of stuff. I love that stuff. I love no rinse stuff because in an emergency or disaster, water can be very scarce. So you want to get a lot of this no rinse stuff. Again, I'm going to be putting on a link and here on the YouTube shopping and link in the description, that kind of thing. I highly, highly recommend that kind of stuff. Speaking of hygiene, go ahead and get yourself one of these bucket toilets, right? This is just a regular bucket. You can get a Home Depot bucket, whatever, get a trash bag, and then one of these toilet lids. There you go. You got yourself a compost bucket. I lived off grid for a while, and I absolutely loved using the compost toilet because we weren't using so much water and we had to haul our own water. It was like a big deal. Anyway, a bucket with a trash bag and some of that like a substrate in it. Any type of RV substrate will also work, kind of help break it down, not smell so bad. And a garbage bag. This is really all you need to make an impromptu toilet in case you do not want to use your water to flush toilets or whatever the case may be. And I also want you to think about your favorite off-grid cooking method, something like a Coleman stove or something that is like this solo stove, or even something like this Ganesha that uses small twigs and things. You can even make your own hobo stove, rocket stove. There's lots of ways to cook off-grid. There's also like a little alcohol burner like this that can be used indoors safely. So when you are going to be using the Coleman grill, like we do, we use it near a cracked window just for safety's sakes. Then week 4 is going to be about figuring out your skills, your local networking and maintenance, and your mindset. So this seems like a lot, but stick with me here. First of all, again, we're going to be going through the fact that preparedness is a journey. It's not a race. You need to get that mindset straight. Once you've been going through week 1 through 4, you should be in that mindset of, okay, every week I'm grabbing food and water. I have a little bit of lighting now. I have my family emergency disaster plan. Now I can maybe build a bug out bag. Like, these are starting to build your systems. You are getting fully prepared within 30 days, but you got a while to go because prepping is a lifestyle, because you're rotating, you're upgrading, you are inventorying, you're doing all this stuff so that you can be always prepared for no matter what comes your way. And skills are extremely important. Do you know what this is? Well, you might if you are part of my Patreon community where I am teaching you guys skills. Everybody wants to learn skills, but it's extremely hard to be bouncing from video to blog to forum posts or whatever, or book or whatever, and you're just like, I'm confused. I don't know what to do. Well, let me help guide you and show you these skills that you need for every day, as well as emergencies, disasters, blackouts, collapse of society, whatever. I want you to have as many skills as possible. So please come join us at Patreon. We want to see you there, and we want to see you succeed with these skills so that you can finally be a little more self-reliant off of the big system that's truly unreliable. Start thinking about how to build your local networks. Get to know your neighbors. Just say hello when you see them, okay? Sometimes it takes the initiation, of somebody else. Sometimes people are just kind of like in their own world, but when they see that hello, they're like, oh, hi, somebody's talking to me. People are social animals, no matter what preppers like to say. I understand, the security risk, but at the same time, you can get your security in place now. Think of your personal protection, your home protection, your situational awareness, and all these other things. Like I said, gosh, there's just so much to do, right? More skills in your situational awareness and your personal protection. This is where week 4 gets really interesting, because I want you to write a list. I want you to say, hey, these are the skills that I have, and these are the skills that I want to learn. And then I want you to just start diving into that list. Practice skills you already know and learn new skills like once a month. It doesn't have to be complicated. But this is where preparedness really takes off. After this 30 days, you're going to be feeling so much better. You're going to have a little bit of food and water. You're going to have some lighting. You're going to have an off-grid cooking method. You're going to have just a little bit more than you had before. So you're going to take this momentum and you're just going to keep going. Maybe, you're not going to need that off-grid cooking anymore because you have it, right? So you're going to move on to another skill, something else. You're going to actually test that off-grid cooking method, right? It's a whole thing. You're going to find things that are within your budget in your time frame, right? So like that first aid, there are budget first aids. You can make your own DIY kits, which I'm going to show you in the Patreon. There's lots of things to do and lots of things to continue to invest in, both your time, your mindset, and of course, with your preparedness. It's about that small daily wins that add up extremely fast. You're going to see your preparedness and your skills build incredibly incredibly over time. But now is the time to get started. The best time to get started was yesterday. You know what the second best time? Right now. So if you're watching this video and you're like, you know what? I want to get prepared, or you know what? I've slacked a little bit. You need to get back on that horse. You need to get at it. It is not hard. Let me know down in the comments how you might get prepared if you started from nothing to get fully prepared in 30 days. Week 1, really do week 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to hear your thoughts. Thank you all so much for watching Conquer Tomorrow by Preparing Today, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.